All right. We're at episode 23. Them Soundflick boys is back. What's up?
What's good, guys?
We are back remotely. What's up, viewers and listeners? This is your boy Norik. Thascool, and I have my wonderful co-host, not necessarily with me because we're practicing physical distancing, but I got my homies via remote, powered by Productive Culture. Go ahead and say what's up, homies.
What's up, Skywalker Mike? Y'all already know.
Deep ass voice, Skywalker Mike.
See our faces. So, yeah, usually they don't see our faces. So,
so going on, guys? It's your boy, A Sincere, Young Flacco. Hey, Skywalker, your voice doesn't sound as deep per usual, though.
Yeah, it's probably the mic. It's probably a different mic, or just the set. Probably the acoustics in my room.
Different mic, same mic.
That's a bar.
Different. Hey, that's a bar right there.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's good to be potting with you guys, even though we're not together. You know, we got to make it work, or we wanted to make it work. We didn't have to.
We want to do it for y'all, for the listeners, for everybody. And I only said viewers just because, Mike, you made that dope background that I feel like our videos are going to be on eventually. So they're going to be able to see this from our humble abodes. Yes. And yeah, man, I'm glad to be chopping it up with you guys. It's been a little minute. I know everybody's been getting accustomed and trying to get as comfortable as possible with the new normal, I would say, with everything kind of being shut down. I know one of our most loved things to do, which is going to the movie theater. That's kind of been thrown away. It's so sad.
I heard the drive-ins open. I heard the drive-ins open. I'll even tell you guys.
Is it really?
Drive-ins? Why would you just tell us that for the first time on the pod? Like, we didn't have time to do like background prep and everything, and you just told us that right now. That's great.
Well, they're not playing any new movies. That's the thing.
Yeah, because there's nothing coming out. You know,
the movie industry shut down, bro.
Yeah, no filming. There's probably writing going on, pre-production, stuff like that. But as far as on-set production, it's all paused.
And tons of editing.
Yes. They should go back and re-edit BVS.
Release the Snyder Cut. We have time now. Release it. Nah, man, it's crazy how such an industry, you know. I think the movie industry is kind of one of those just pinnacle type industries. We just think it's so big and so large, and there's so much money that goes through it, that to see it kind of come to a halt right in front of us, I think is something that none of us really expected or saw coming, and it's just really interesting.
The world.
Yeah. You know, it's very, very interesting. Kind of where do we go from here? You know, is there going to be an opportunity for us to come together to watch something again, you know, or is it going to be more of a more innovation kind of added to that in the interest of safety, you know, with COVID-19 and everything like that that's going on. So, you know, it's been pretty crazy, and I just am extremely thankful for all of the streaming platforms that are available right now, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Hulu, whether it's Amazon, HBO, Showtime, whatever. You know, you're still able to kind of get your movie kick in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's very, very helpful. There's even Vudu. I know it's like movies that you already own or you could buy, but you know, just to have a catalog of things like where you could go back and be like, I didn't watch this well enough, so I'm gonna watch this again. But also streaming platforms, you know, I know there's one new one that I have yet to check out called Quibi.
Yes, I've been hearing about Quibi.
Quibi, well, on Hulu, Quibi, that's where most of the promos at. But they're adding all these brand new shows they're only like 10-minute shows, like quick, kind of like Adult Swim type episodes of like Punk'd. Chrissy Teigen has her own one. Idris Elba has his own one. Like everybody just quick 10-minute episodes. Yeah.
Punk'd is on there, right?
Yeah, Chance the
I
Rapper
think
runs
Punk
Punch on
is
there. It's
on
pretty.
there.
I saw one episode. It was pretty fire.
Well, it's super interesting how I feel like that they're trying to figure out the appropriate length for like a new type of television, a new type of short TV where they have, Red Table Talk and all these different TV shows that are starting on upstarts like Caffeine and Quibi, or on social media like Facebook and Snapchat.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so interesting, especially with now there's more call for digital, entertainment, because everybody's inside and we can't all congregate to go do something. It's super interesting how many shows are actually coming out, and how many actors and actresses and stars are getting picked up by these networks for 10-minute shows, 15-minute shows.
Yeah, Idris Elba for 10 minutes, like you have to be paying him a lot, like just to get him
I'm
somewhere.
curious.
Like,
I'm curious about how much they're getting paid,
Yeah,
You bring
exactly.
up a good point.
But
It's like, how do you quantify getting paid for these 10-minute shows when you're doing the same thing that you would be doing for a 30-minute or an hour show? It's just, less time. It's not like that the quality dips.
Yeah, it's just shorter. It's just shorter in length.
It also depends on
so.
I think it depends on the actor. Like, I remember seeing Idris Elba on The Office, and it's just one of those things like, how the hell did he get this person on there? You know what I mean? Like, going from big screen to like small screen. But I think it's pretty dope to see, because even social medias are treating themselves like they're these streaming platforms, from having their own content, or like everybody's using TikTok right now and creating, like, it seems like full films or like episodes on TikTok, even though they're only like a minute long.
Yeah, it's really crazy how we just kind of got forced into this. Luckily, we are already accustomed to streaming, so it's not like everybody has to get accustomed to this new way of consuming, content, movies, television, whatever. But
now it's just like the main source.
Yeah, yeah. It's just so crazy though that for the foreseeable future, we won't be able to go into a movie theater together. Like, it's deemed as hazardous. It's deemed as dangerous, and that's just wild for the type of experience that movie going brings. I'm curious as to what can they do to adjust that. Would it be like smaller theaters, where it's maybe 10 people?
Selling lesser tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just selling less tickets, letting less people, like, you won't be seeing theaters packed anymore like they usually were. When you went to go see Avengers, or when you went to go see any big release, there was pretty much a packed theater, and you would like just be like really squished. Like, it's depending on the theater also, like size. But now it's probably just going to be like, because now, so now they'll probably be like, okay, you can only buy, this seat, this seat, this seat. They'll have the other ones off limits.
I have a feeling
that could happen.
I have a feeling that they'll do like reserved days, where like like how you kind of already buy a ticket for, like, the way you're kind of conditioned to buy a ticket is that you'll buy a ticket that day, for maybe later on in the day that you're going to do. And I think now you may have to reserve, weeks in advance, to have something set up, because they're going to limit how many people can actually be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you guys think that because of streaming and the accessibility of it, that movie studios will figure out a way to get their premium content direct to home, and that people would actually pay for it? Like, would you pay $35 to see the next Marvel movie the day it comes out,
Honestly, I probably would. But it depends on the movie, really. Like you said, a Marvel movie. When you go see a Marvel movie, how often do you go by yourself? Like, you usually go with a group of friends, or with like your family. So it's like watching a movie like that at home would be a little bit more convenient for a bigger group. But like a movie that's not really well known, or that is going to draw like big groups, stuff like that, you could still go to the movies for, or but I think it just really depends on the title, or even the company, the movie studio. So
yeah, I think it depends on, one, the price, two, what the movie is, because I think we created a culture now, especially, like we talked about this on past episodes, like Marvel's created a culture that it's movie theaters are meant to be packed out so we can all share this experience together. Not only once, but you're gonna come see this movie 2 or 3 times because this is what the culture is. Everybody loves this movie. It's more of an experience rather than just doing it at home because you don't have surround sound. You're watching it from your phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not the same. Movies are made to be shown in theaters. You know, their audio is adjusted for it to be in theaters. Their scaling is adjusted for it to be in theaters, you know, when they're shooting on IMAX cameras, but it's like nobody's going to go see that. And no one has an IMAX set up in their crib, you know, maybe probably like 20 people or so. You know,
they're going to shoot it in 4K and then the streaming site's going to bring it down to 1080p anyway. So like
480p, bro.
What's
480p.
the point? I feel so bad.
240p.
Everybody's hard work, you know, to make it look crisp and to pick up on the little details. It's like, nah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a change in pretty much movie viewing experiences. But what's your guys' like movie setup right now? Are you guys just like in your room, just have?
I'm at the crib with it, bro.
Switch it on.
Yeah.
Like, what do you have with you when you're watching movies at home now? Like, do you try to replicate it? You get some popcorn all the time?
My majority of like all the streaming, all the movies I'm doing is just like in my room, like on my Xbox. But I have my headset on as I'm doing it.
Yeah, I listen through my headphones now.
Yeah, it feels way better, especially because like my house it's not small, but like you can hear a movie happening if like you're in the other room.
Yeah.
So like most of the movie and streaming I've been doing has been from 10 to 2 in the morning. So I'm gonna have my headset on either way.
Yeah, same. I've been streaming late only because my schedule is just off.
My sleeping schedule is terrible, bro. This shit sucks, dog. I hate it.
I mean, it's kind of a blessing, man. I've noticed just getting more done, you know, being able to freely think about the things that you want to do without, I mean, I work from home still just during this whole situation. So I don't have all the time in the world, but just being able to get up and go to your own bathroom is like key. You know what I mean? Like just being able to go in your front yard or like go in your backyard or whatever while you're at home is just like so clutch. As far as watching movies though, I'm pretty much just watching it the same that I've watched movies here. I haven't really tried to recreate the movie experience. And I do have popcorn though. That's like that's an automatic. You know what I mean?
Bro, I'm using DoorDash too much. It's all bad.
Dude,
I need to go buy some.
Too much money. They're not even waiving the delivery fee, bro.
Oh, I got Dash Pass. It's all good.
So
okay.
Perks of working at Chase. Yeah. If you connect, if you connect your Chase credit card over to your DoorDash, you get free Dash Pass. You good? So I'm chilling. I'm not worried about it.
You just ordered a bunch of crunch.
The Lunch Bunch from Shakey's. No, most of my orders have consisted of wings, chicken sandwiches, and more wings.
My man's watching the Super Bowl.
A lot of chicken.
Hey, bro, it's just chicken or red meat, bro. Like one goes down easier than the other.
True.
Plus quantity.
Hey, man, live your life, bro. We're quarantined. We can do whatever we want.
I've actually been. Well, I've been cooking more since I'm at home.
Facts. Me too.
But I know not everybody can cook. Sadly,
I've been cooking like dinner every night.
The air fryer gang, bro.
Hey, tater tots in the air fryer, bro. Any type of potato in the air fryer. I'm
in there, bro. I'm making so much fire on the air fryer.
What's your favorite thing you've made?
Favorite? Probably the salmon I did. I did some salmon and asparagus in the air fryer. It was crazy.
Wow.
Crazy good.
Yeah.
And then I did this sweet chili tuna steaks.
Okay.
And then recently I just did some ribs, and that was fire too.
Hey, I'm doing ribs in the air fryer.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I've been trying to do chicken wings, but they've been selling out. Like, there's no chicken wings anywhere. So,
I had to conform and just buy drumsticks. So I just made wings, but I just used drumsticks instead.
That's a sin, bro.
It is not the same.
I am sin.
It's not the same.
It's not, but it's still fire.
Yeah,
indeed.
The sauce.
Just go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get their sauce, bro. Just buy the bottles.
Now I'm trying to make all my sauces from scratch, bro. I'm like gonna marinate the chicken for like 24 hours.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do like a garlic parmesan, a lemon pepper, and maybe like a barbecue.
I've been doing mixed Jack's hot sauce with like ranch and like a couple other seasonings. It's pretty dang.
That's fire.
That's good. That sounds really good. Did you guys hear about talking about like movie going experiences? Did you guys hear about the Netflix party add-on on Chrome?
We've yet to do it. I know we mentioned it a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I just got it to work. What do you guys think about that? You know, like I think it's been around.
Is it still only for computer use, or is it like console?
No, I think it's only desktop, right? It's only desktop.
Yeah, desktop, laptop, you know, whatever you can pull up like Chrome on and add it on, because it's an add-on, like an extension. So it's just like a little app, pretty much. So if you go on Chrome, you log in, you pick a movie, and it creates a link, and that link you could send to everybody. So even if they don't have Netflix, they can see what you're seeing, and they can even chat.
Dope.
There's like a chat. So I mean, what do you guys think about that as a movie going experience? You know, since people can't see movies with their friends or family right now, like I think that's.
I don't. Sorry,
cool
go ahead. Go ahead, Nuri.
I was just saying, I think it's great. I think the only thing that would really take it over the top is I think a lot of these companies are underestimating how many people have consoles and how you need to make, like, you have to make your, whatever it is that you're making, if you can, you have to make it compatible with either PS4 or Xbox or whatever, you know, because I think a lot of people have those things connected in their living room, and they don't necessarily have their computer connected to their living room. So it's like harder to do that. But if you're on your laptop and you're with your homies, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, because I could just HDMI my laptop to my TV and then just, you know what I mean? But I think kind of like the way Twitch would be set up, like whether it be mobile or even from a console, being able to utilize that, being able to chat. Are they allowing chat as just like text though, or can you like talk?
It's text. Yeah, it's text only.
Text.
Yeah, you can always probably do like a separate call, like FaceTime.
Kind of like like Zoom, FaceTime.
If you want to talk to them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's. I mean, I'm not sure if it's been around or how long, but it did just pop up because of, you know, all this that was happening. So it'd be cool to see more things like that, like if Hulu did something like that, or if HBO, you know, like other platforms kind of follow lead. I don't know if it's an app that Netflix created themselves, or if they're still testing it, it's still in beta, you know. So
you know what would be interesting? You remember when Netflix came out with that Choose Your Fate movie? Was it Bandersnatch?
It was Bandersnatch, yeah.
Bandersnatch. Imagine doing that, but with Netflix Party, where like you guys gotta agree on like what's happening, you know. So like you're with your people and you gotta like figure it out. And
majority votes.
Like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
that would be really cool. Chooses whichever. That's cool.
That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool.
Or like it just keep either majority, or like it keeps rotating between everyone in the party to make a decision. You know,
they can control what's going on. Yeah, that would be cool too. You know,
there's actually some video games that are like that right now too, which is pretty fire.
Yeah, no, it's cool to see the interactiveness. You know, especially in the times we are right now. As human beings, we fiend for like just company. You know, like some people live alone and they hate being alone. You know, there's people that are always going out and now they have to stay home 7 days a week.
Haven't hugged anybody in a month.
They gotta be with themselves, man. That's the reality of it. A lot of people, when we get deep, a lot of people haven't spent enough time with themselves to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
extroverts are losing it right now. Like I'm lucky to be both. I'm lucky to be like on the cusp of both ends, like extrovert and introvert.
I'm the same. You know, sometimes I like to be in my room, or sometimes I'll go to a show.
It depends on the mood. It depends on the day, the situation. Just like
the cool thing is that if you perform music, you kind of have both. you know, like, because you know how to just go into isolation and create. And then you also know how to like share it with people when it's time to share it, so you can kind of talk and do all that kind of stuff. So this quarantine in particular hasn't really hit me too difficult because luckily, you know, I invested in my household to be able to provide me with everything I needed to still function. You know, like we have the studio and everything like that, so I can still make music here. I don't have to be out, or I didn't have a studio. Like I couldn't imagine, you know, not being able to do those kinds of things. And that's like your profession right now, you know?
Yeah. It's cool that you're able to work from home 2 times in a day, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You get to
I'm on leave.
clock out of your regular job.
And work until the second.
Literally. And that's how it happens too. Like I have my work laptop on top of this laptop, and I'm working. The minute that my time is up, I literally just put it to the side, open up this laptop, and I get right to it.
That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons to this whole social distance. There's a lot of pros to it because in the end, it's going to help hopefully humanity, you know, like that's the goal, you know, we're trying to go back to normal as best and safe as possible, you know. So
what I'm hoping doesn't happen is like once this is over, people just spend all their time outside where it could potentially get so bad where like you could eventually bring it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I feel like it's not going to go completely back to normal. You know, like people want to do things, but I feel like people.
Oh, you froze on us.
Oh, Skywalker, you're freezing.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, it's all good. I think what you were saying was that that you weren't sure what it was going to kind of look like when everything comes back. Because you're right, you know, like we do want it to go back to normal, but the idea of it coming back isn't far-fetched, you know, because it's been unleashed now. So it's like whenever we have something that is just in the air, I think that this is something that, you know, could be a concern, you know, potentially yearly, you know, potentially different times. I don't know if there'll be like a set time every time, but I don't think I'd be surprised if all of a sudden they're saying, oh, you know, there's more cases or there's more cases. Because from what they're describing and the things that it's doing as a virus it's damn near perfect. Like it's affecting everybody it needs to affect. It's transmitting in the easiest ways it can be transmitted, and animals and dead people still aren't safe, you know, from it. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, if this is going to be something that's going to be here, then for sure. But let us, you know, really start to think of solutions and ways that we can kind of still operate, because people still want to be connected, like how you were saying, you know, and like, we still want a pod. So, you know, we got to make it happen.
No, we're making it happen. It's cool. Again, shout out to Jam Cam. You know, he kind of
production culture out here.
He kind of came to us about the idea, you know, and I don't know if we're still the guinea pigs, but
the show must go on.
The show must go on, you know.
The show must go on. Now, well, speaking of which, how have you guys kind of like, you know, jumped into some normalcy when it comes to this? I feel like everyone's streaming right now. That's probably the most normal that everyone's feeling, is that they're just they're either rewatching their favorite show that they've loved ever since, you know, they were younger, whether it's like Friends or The Office or The Community, whatever.
Trailer Park Boys.
There you go. MTV, little MTV kid over there.
Yeah, no,
there
there's
was
a
so
lot.
many reruns of Trailer Park Boys. It was crazy. I remember.
Bro, I'm trying to watch
3-4 hour blocks.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm trying to watch Flavor of Love. I'm trying to watch For the Love of Brent Michaels.
Oh, geez.
For the Love of New York.
Brent Michaels.
Remember that shit? That's wild.
I do. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch Room Raiders.
I see a lot of people watching Jersey Shore. I don't know how that's.
Actually, Jersey Shore just came back for another season last year, I guess. So it's still relevant now. Yeah, it came back for another season.
Yo,
it's
that
done,
was
bro.
Crazy.
when that came out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. I feel like that's what created all the thoughts. Now, like in today's
honestly, yes.
It was watching all of that.
Yeah, it's true. All the
that girl,
douchebags.
You're right. Yeah. All the douchebags and all the grenades and all the fist pumping and all the big heads.
Man.
Bro, that's when do you guys remember Gotham City? Gotham City Massive?
Yes, I do.
That's where all the big hair came from. That's where all the teased hair came from. That's where all the bedazzled, bro.
Ed Hardy, all the Ed Hardy. How much Ed Hardy?
All the Ed Hardy
this year.
I don't have any Ed Hardy. I dressed like a cholo from 7th to like 10th grade. No, like 7th to freshman year. Damn, it was always like
Ed Hardy shirt. I could definitely see him with an Ed Hardy shirt and chain.
Me?
Yeah.
Not even, bro.
Like not now, but like high school sincere.
Nah, dog. No, heck no. High school sincere was a swag it, bro. It was bad. It was like skinny jeans with like no sleeve jackets and like flannels.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's rough times in high school, middle school, but
it was.
Don't even get me started in high school, bro. It was all bad. You were way more swaggy than me.
How many pro clubs did you own?
Oh man, jeez. Probably at least like 15. I had about like 15 different pro clubs.
And then once that one fades out, it becomes an undershirt, and then you buy a new one.
And you got the shockers, and then you warm that out.
Shockers hurt your neck so much, though. Shockers are like,
yeah, dude.
They were in competition to see who can crush your esophagus.
Well, bro, Shaka. I remember the reason Shockers blew up is because they were endorsed by Bone Thugs.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Shockers were endorsed by Bone Thugs. If you ever go to like any swap meet or like any indoor swap meet, like if you see a Shaka sign, more than likely Bone Thugs will be on there. It's wild.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's real crazy. But yeah, man, Pro Club is what was insane about Pro Club is that they weren't even trying to be just a t-shirt. You know, like it was like they wanted you to print stuff on it. And people were like, nah, the shirt's just fire on its own.
Just by itself. I just like the color. That's it.
Yeah. That's why they had them at swap meets, bro. That's why you buy them in bulk.
Yeah,
because the people that would go ahead and do shirt presses would sell those. Mm-hmm. But then it ended up being the crappy like AAA shirts that would always fade.
I'd hate the AAA shirt. Don't even bring a AAA near me. When the Pro Clubs was out, I don't even want to hear it.
It's like when you buy a shirt and you realize it's a Gildan.
Oh, it always makes me sad.
I'm like, I'm gonna wear this twice maybe, and then after that, I can't.
It's a wrap. Good time.
So, what are you guys watching right now? What are some recommendations we can give to our viewers and listeners?
It's funny because I gave Norik my Hulu password. So I could see what he's watching. So I was like,
see what he's watching.
I was like, I'm not watching Lego Masters. So I was like,
hey, why are you spying on what I'm watching, dog?
Because you're using my profile.
Oh man, hey, Lego Masters is fire, bro.
But I think now's the time to do all the restreams.
It's a fire. I know we talk about movies, but that's a fire show. Like it's just a fun reality show. I don't know if you guys ever played with Legos when you were younger, but like my brother was super into it. So when I saw this show, I called him over. I was like, bro, you got to watch this. And it's a little over the top and ridiculous, but these dudes are like, they're fire at building Legos. Like there's a guy on there who teaches engineering with Legos.
What the hell?
Like to his students.
Like he shows how to build them type thing?
Builds everything up. And like they learn the dimensions and how stuff is supposed to go, but like it's fire though.
That's fire.
Oh, that's cool.
And technically, it's just all small scale stuff. So like, yeah, that's fire. I like that.
Yeah, I've seen crazy Lego builds. I've seen one of Darth Vader's castle with the lava pit. And
well, bro, like at Disney, they have the whole setup.
Well, yeah,
it
honestly, it's a lot more legit now. Like I didn't think it was like it. It still seems like that it's just a kid thing. But they have like the Lego series, that like the Lego Life series where what you're making is like life replica models of stuff. Like they've made cars, like full bodied cars.
Full scale cars.
Full scale cars out of Lego. You know what's another fun fact? Is that Lego uses the most rubber out of like any company. Like they use the most rubber, I believe it's for tires specifically.
Oh wow!
So
the
because
Lego
of all
rubber
the little rubber
tires.
tires, they sell the most rubber tires like in the world.
That's
That's
crazy.
big. That's weird. That's a
Yeah,
lot of Legos.
that's a
You
lot
ever
of
stepped on a
tires.
Lego?
Bro,
Terrible.
stepping on a Lego is the worst thing ever. Another
Worst thing in my
is
life.
when you have two of the flat pieces that are stuck together and you try and peel them apart. Forget it.
Oh yeah. You're not getting it done, bro. Leave it.
Nah.
Move on. Yeah. What about you, Sam? What are you watching right now?
Bro, I'm rewatching all the stuff I love to watch. I started rewatching How I Met Your Mother. If you guys have not watched Dave yet, please watch Dave. It is so well
I've
written.
been watching Dave. I'm one episode
back,
but
any show.
Yeah, it's
The new,
show.
yeah, that's the first thing this morning is put on the new episode. But literally, if any show, kind of like The Office, like if a character can make me cringe, like if I like, how cringe a show. Like there's just awkward scenarios that just end up happening. And you're just like, what the hell? But like, you want to watch it, like it's like it makes you so uncomfortable. But I love that about it. It's weird.
Yeah,
but,
Dave is very.
On that, Ozark and Dave, yeah.
Dave is interesting. You know, it reminds me of a little bit of Atlanta. Just aesthetic wise, or just writing wise.
Yeah, the delivery and the way things are like presented.
Yeah. So, and I mean, they're the same network.
Say it again?
I haven't seen Insecure yet.
So it reminds me of Insecure as far as just like the shots that they get and like how people are like walking in and how there's like how they take up the room and stuff like that. It's like a mix of Insecure and like The Office.
Yeah,
I think the thing I like about Dave the most is like it's kind of like it takes place now, but as if Lil Dicky just came into the rap game now and we didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we're just rediscovering this dude because like all the songs and all the stuff he's doing like hasn't happened in real life, so it's all loosely based. So it's pretty fire.
It's kind of like a parody of his own life, of his come up, of his or what he thought the come up would have been, or something.
Yeah, it's pretty fire.
It's comedy.
Ozark. You guys catch up fully? Like, did you finish all 3 seasons?
All finished.
Yes. I finished that same weekend when it came out. And it was just perfect timing because it was kind of right when the quarantine happened. So I think a lot more people got to watch Ozarks.
And catch up and be like, what?
Wouldn't have seen it before, But like I was hip to it after the second season premiered a couple years ago is when I got involved. And man, that dude Jason Bateman, man, we're gonna have to do a Jason Bateman episode.
I'm okay with doing a Jason Bateman episode because that dude has killing it. That dude has his range is disgusting, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a episode on the quick dive of The Outsider, and he directed and wrote a lot of the episodes. And his like you said, his range is crazy. So it'd be nice to do something. Yeah, his catalog is very, very, very extensive.
It's really well put together.
It is extensive, for sure.
Yeah.
And like they have, like I love that he's just always willing to try a different type of character, with a different type of motivation, and he just fits it every time.
It's funny because he still comes off no matter what the character is. It's always like this blue collar white dude who looks like he's just from the suburbs and like he doesn't belong in certain situations. Whether it be like the way he was in Hancock, because that's exactly how he looked and he was, compared to like Ozark where he looks like that. And he's kind of like nitty and gritty.
Yeah. We should def talk about that more on when we do catch up on that episode, because like I said, there's a lot to cover for Jason.
Have you guys gotten into Tiger King?
White actors. What were you saying, Sincere?
Have you guys gotten to Tiger King yet?
No.
Oh yeah, we can get into that. I haven't watched all of it, but I know it's ridiculous. And
I'm not as like hype about it as everybody else. I'm not feeling it that much. It's pretty cool, I guess, but I'm not like.
I feel like the show should have been more about the animals than about the people. Like I didn't watch the show, but it feels more like it's
animals.
No, but as far as the hype wise, I don't hear nothing about like people saying anything about the Tigers. I always hear about like a certain character. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know.
I think that character kind of hits all of the right switches when it comes to the American public and falling in love with an idiot. You know, like the American public loves watching something where somebody's like an idiot, but they succeed, you know, and or they're painted in a light that like makes it seem like that they have something that no one else has, or they're super unique, but they're crazy. And I think Joe Exotic is just the next one in line that kind of fits that profile.
Yeah. All his shirts will be at Walmart pretty soon. So be ready. Just like Duck Dynasty. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh my God.
It's just,
I remember all the Duck Dynasty shirts at Walmart.
I'm curious on I wish I could get the opportunity to be on set of like a Netflix documentary, because I'm trying to figure out how people just keep incriminating themselves with these documentaries, and then the police will come up and be like, you know what? A lot of people are talking about this, so we're gonna just reopen the case. Like, what? Yeah. Like, why'd you even sign up to do the documentary? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's like Netflix finds these like closed cases, and they're like, this would probably make good TV, and then just somehow reopen the case because they agreed, like the person agrees to it. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff doesn't seem real, and it seems scripted, but
you know, like how much are you getting paid to tell your story and snitch on yourself?
Snitch on yourself. Yeah, I always wondered about like how they're getting paid.
Like, sorry.
Or like if they already got paid, or if they're waiting to get paid to see how it does. I always wanted to know stuff about that about Netflix. So I don't know if they'll ever release stuff like that, because they don't even release like their views or how many subscribers they have. You know, they're very elusive with all.
Is Netflix
the closest thing before that?
Do any of us know if Netflix is publicly traded?
I don't know that. I'm not aware. So
I don't think so. I think they're private.
Because if they're still private, then I understand why they still are hoarding their data. You know what I mean?
Because they don't answer to nobody.
Exactly.
Themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, there's nothing anybody can do. There's no probable cause. So, but if they do have a board and they're publicly traded, then it's like, damn, and you're still withholding information? Like,
that looks sketchy.
You got to be gangster or something. You got something up your sleeve.
Yeah. Any movies you guys been watching other than docu shows or series?
Oh yeah, I was gonna swing over to our other white guy but he's on the opposite side of the spectrum. Zero Range, and that is
Zero Range.
Zero Range. My man Mark Wahlberg with his straight to Netflix movie, or at least it was probably shot by Netflix also. I don't think it was straight to Netflix. But that happened during the quarantine, kind of right when it started. And that was like one of the major movies that was out that Netflix was promoting, which is called Spenser Confidential. Have you guys seen that?
I did. It's not what I expected. It's not what I expected from the movie.
All I remember when I first saw it was Post Malone on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they got everybody in by showing Post Malone in the beginning.
Yeah,
I
thought it was gonna be like a buddy cop type movie, you know, like the other guys, because like you said, he has zero range. So I was like, okay,
it's the same
buddy cop movie. There it is. But it was sort of like a buddy cop movie.
It was like it was like the other guys mixed with Four Brothers, mixed with that one that he did with The Rock, where they all got buffed.
Yeah. It was like that.
It's like all three of those put together.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why it's on Netflix originally. And Netflix probably like, I know you've done all of this already, but we want you to do it again.
Yeah. Here's $10 million. We're going to have you do it again.
And don't worry, you don't have to fly anywhere. It's in your hometown, Boston, as always.
Yeah, that's probably how they got him too. They were just like, yeah, you don't have to fly anywhere.
I'm in.
He's like my schedule's restricted right now. I got to be home. Oh, don't worry, we'll shoot in Boston. All right, yeah, easy.
All right, I'm down. Yeah, I mean, the movie was okay. I kind of liked it still.
Shout out to Winston Duke, bro. I was happy that
he's got range.
He does have range. He does have range. Winston Duke has range, and he's from Trinidad. Hey,
there you
brother.
go. Represent.
But yeah, man, I was happy to see him on there. You know, having his little zen, gorilla style. Like this shit was
drinking
fire.
some oat milk.
Yeah,
Drinking oat milk, vegan.
Oat milk's fire. Oat milk's dank.
I'm not even gonna lie. I started doing the little energy release on my dog. You know, and I was stroking their head like,
yeah, that had me dead.
Flick it off.
Flick it. Yeah. Nah,
bro. There's times where I do that. I'm just like, take
with yourself.
All negative away. Yeah.
Yeah.
with yourself.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just
throw it in the trash. Kobe. Nah, it was pretty funny, you know. Like I think Mark Wahlberg, although he's not the greatest actor, the movies that he does are always like he chooses the right movies or the right roles for what he's already like used to.
Be Wahlberg.
To be Wahlberg, you know.
To be Wahlberg.
I don't think I could see Mark Wahlberg in like a horror movie.
Oh, he'd be great in a horror movie, bro.
Has he been in a horror movie?
I think the most range I saw him with was in The Lovely Bones.
Yeah, okay. He was in The Lovely Bones.
The Lovely Bones is pretty dark. That's probably the closest to like a horror movie. The Happening, I didn't like it that much. It was whatever to me. It was kind of bland.
He was in The Happening? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
it was him and John Leguizamo, right?
Yeah, John. I do remember John Leguizamo, but
it sucks because he doesn't want his image to be tarnished at all. So he's always like the badass hero. But I would love for him to really play like a gross villain. Like, just give me a gross villain, but like he knows that everyone won't look at him the same after that.
Yeah, we'll see. I think one day Marvel or Disney will reach out to him and he'll break character and be something else for once. Just for that. I mean, they got Paul Rudd into the Marvel universe.
I'm pretty sure I said it on the pod before that Marvel will cast everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
Everyone will be cast in a Marvel movie in some way, shape, or form.
Everyone's going to be on Marvel's payroll, bro. It's going to be insane.
Well, that's a lot of royalties for all of them for like the rest of their lives.
Right?
Yeah.
Bro, true. I feel like if you think about it, like, I kind of feel like they're going to run out of actors at some point.
You can't, man. There's too many people who are acting. You can't run out of actors.
Yeah,
well, because all the solo movies have like so many A-list actors, bro. Like, it just trips me out.
Well, they got the formula now. The formula is to have a relatively unknown, maybe a 1 movie or 2 movie actor to play the hero for a long period of time, and then they get A-list villains to come and go because you can always kill off a villain, and if they're A-list, then they're probably going to want to do more stuff. They don't want to be tied to anything, you know, because they don't want an A-list.
Michael B. Jordan type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan type. Even like a what's his name who played Vulture. You know what I mean? I think that they could have had that just be one time, and we would have been like, oh, that was great. We're just happy that he didn't die. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But
True.
Yeah, because I think that they learned their lesson. When you have an A-list who's the hero, then they can get big-headed, or they can get into negotiation issues, or where they want to take something, and then if that falls apart, then you really don't have a movie anymore, you know?
Yeah, true. Very, very true. But Spenser Confidential is cool. What else? I seen it's kind of like I seen 2 actually. Speaking of Marvel, I saw one with Chris Evans. That was really cool. It's kind of older. It's Red Sea Diving Resort. Have you ever seen it? I think that's Red Sea Diving Resort.
I've never even heard of that movie.
I never heard of that.
It's like he goes to, I forgot the country, but he's rescuing refugees and taking them to another country so they can escape. He's the only like known actor. Everybody else is kind of like B-list, C-list. It's a Netflix one. That one's really good. Another one that I saw that was really good, that's kind of star-studded, was The Last Thing He Wanted. That one's more like a drama, has to do with like politics in the 70s, like when they were trying to take weapons to Europe and stuff. So it has to do with like a journalist and the government. But it
Yeah, I
has
was
Anne
wondering. I was going to
Hathaway,
ask you, who's the he in that? Like,
who's the main character.
yeah, like who's the he in the title? You're saying like it's not what he wanted, so it's like who's he?
Anne Hathaway's dad.
Okay,
Yeah, which is Willem Dafoe plays her dad,
who
and he
plays the
kind
dad?
of
Okay,
and he's the one who's trading weapons uh to like all these refugee countries in the 70s, trying to get them weapons from the US. And Anne Hathaway is a journalist trying to uncover why the US is sending guns over there, but she finds out it's her dad.
It's all
And
bad.
he gets sick, so he can't make the deal that was going to make him rich. So the last thing he wanted was for
her to
for
be
that to
involved.
happen. So she ended up getting involved, and
Oh shit.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. The whole movie's pretty crazy.
Pretty
That
fun.
one has a lot of good actors that are pretty known.
I feel like you should be able to search on streaming platforms by actor.
They do
I,
that, don't they?
I think
I feel like it's not as
I know Netflix
pronounced.
does. Like if you start typing in a name, like that name will pop up. Like what movies that are related to that name.
Okay, their whole catalog will be there.
Or
Or like whatever's
from what I've
available on the
done,
streaming platform.
like I think the only names I've done have been like
one time I did Quentin
Evans,
Tarantino.
Chappelle.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I've
usually
done
it comes up.
Tarantino as well.
Yeah, usually, yeah, when I put Tarantino, it's whatever is on the catalog on Netflix of Tarantino or
Yeah.
A24.
So all
I
the names, it's
search.
kind of just like
Yeah.
anything related. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just if I type in Anne Hathaway, will all of Anne Hathaway's movies pop up? That'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool. I feel like I'd
Whatever's
be able to
on that
watch
streaming site, yeah, more than likely.
Yeah, because like I was hearing you talk about William Dafoe, and I feel like William Dafoe has been in a lot of stuff that we've like
Oh
been
yeah.
interested in as of
Oh
late. And I was like, a William Dafoe kick would be great. I just want to watch like 3 or 4 of his movies.
yeah. Yeah, it would. There's a lot of movies that Al Pacino does. There's actually a show that I'm watching with Al Pacino on Amazon Prime called Hunters, and that one's really good. It's
I've
a
heard about that.
little
It's with the
cheesy.
Nazis, right?
Yeah, it's a little cheesy, but it's also has some good. It has a good plot and a premise of the show. It's very interesting. That's one that I forgot to recommend earlier, but I have so many shows that I've been watching. Just because I want to do quick dives on it, or I just kind of want to watch it just because, like some shows I probably won't ever do quick dives on, but some, more than others I will. That one I want to. Altered Carbon. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I
That has
saw a
Anthony
little bit of the first season with Joel
Kinnaman.
Yeah, Joel
Yes.
Kinnaman, but I haven't seen the new one with Anthony
Mackie. Yeah.
aka the Falcon.
Falcon. Yes.
The Falcon.
Yeah, I wonder
That's
if
Captain
all
America,
the
bro.
Disney.
Put some respect on his name.
That's
Yet.
Captain
We haven't
Falcon.
seen
Dude.
it.
Yeah. Nah. I wonder if all the Disney Plus shows are gonna get postponed too. Even
No,
the
they're
ones
still
that
gonna be
were
released
done.
on schedule. I know Falcon and Winter Soldier is not supposed to. What?
Everything that's
Planet.
Finished filming is still supposed to be on schedule.
Next.
Streaming wise. Yeah.
So I think I think WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier are still on schedule. Everything else though is kind of they still have to do touches on, so everything's kind of got pushed back another 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, because do you guys remember when WandaVision was supposed to come out?
November.
I believe it was February of 2021, wasn't it? Or was it November?
That might be the new date now that everything is pushed back, but it's done though. Like it's not pushed back because it needs to still be worked on.
Yeah.
I think it's pushed back because of Black Widow.
Yes, because Black Widow got pushed back, and they need that to happen first before.
That makes sense.
Yes,
they
before
need
we
their
find out
bags to be collected.
The timeline.
Yeah.
Not only that, I think timeline wise.
Yes, and that's what's so interesting about it.
I hope it becomes that universe.
What's up?
Like I hope it becomes that universe of like big screen integrating with small screen.
I think that's why they're doing it.
Somewhat happened on
Mandalorian.
Agents of
They
S.H.I.E.L.D.
did that.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Star Wars.
what they've promised. They've said that, the Disney Plus shows starting with Falcon and Winter Soldier will be of movie quality and will directly be referenced in movies, like what happens there. So it's basically like a 6 hour, because every one of those shows is only like seven episodes, 8 episodes tops.
Yeah.
45 to an hour maybe.
Yeah,
for each
45
episode.
to an hour for each one. And because all of Marvel Television is now under Feige, all of it is up to his choice, his final say. So he can make it all intertwined. Truly now, truly it can be all intertwined. We're gonna get actors from the movies and the shows, and hopefully we'll get some actors from the shows in the movies as well.
In the movies,
yeah.
The cool thing about Feige is that, like, I remember we've talked about it before, where it's, I guess we've already talked about them intertwining, but kind of like expanding on certain things that are kind of mentioned in movies. Being able to finally expand on like what could potentially happen later on in the movie, or being able to kind of give like some foreshadowing, like
we're gonna get
building up to happen.
It's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be a little bit more telegraphed going forward, because we didn't really know how the universe was gonna be made, like what major parts were gonna be a part of it. But it seems like that they're kind of narrowing it down now. You only have a few more parts that you really have to show in order for us to get the gist of what's going on. And then the rest of it is just stories and filler within that universe. You know what I mean? Within those timelines. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, going back to like the Black Widow and WandaVision thing, I feel like they're going to be happening at the same time or similar time, like one after the other, because WandaVision is before Endgame, I think. Even Black Widow is before Endgame. I don't know. Winter Soldier and the Falcon, I don't know if that's before
Winter
Endgame.
Soldier and the Falcon said that it's going to take place in 2023. So like right after Endgame. It's
okay, so that one after Endgame for sure.
It's gonna have to be when it shows Falcon training to be Captain America, and I think they're finally gonna make Winter Soldier turn into White Wolf.
Good. Yeah.
It seems like everyone's secondary evolutions are going to start occurring while the new Avengers get created. With like there's going to be a lot more.
You have to build up the next generation
that are going to come into play. And everybody who was like a character, I think Paul Rudd is going to play a huge part, Ant-Man, and like his tenure in like, because if you think about everybody who's around, it's like the only way that they can introduce like a young Avengers with kids is if you have Paul Rudd that's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As
like
a kid.
Who acts like a kid, himself. Like anybody else, it would just feel like the tone would be different. Then I feel like what they kind of want to get out of it.
Yeah, very true.
Not so much like a Stark Spider-Man chemistry, as more like, I feel
like
that.
he's gonna be like
younger than
cool
that.
dad.
They're gonna kind of want to establish it even younger, or more innocent than that, I would say.
Yeah, just something I guess that can relate to the young Avengers.
Yes.
Like if they were to have another Tony Stark type character with Young Avengers, I feel like they would rebel. They would rebel more.
And it's just too easy. There's too many narrative. Like you'd have to write yourself into a corner every time because you have freaking Tony Stark, and it's like, all right, bro, he's not smart enough to handle this situation. Like when you have Paul Rudd, it's like, well, no, he's kind of not that smart enough to handle this situation. So he really has to figure it out, And I think that's.
But also, Ant-Man's daughter is one of the Young Avengers, no? Or like it was in the comics, right?
Yes,
she will be.
She's a hero named Stature who has similar.
Which works out perfect because after the snap, she's
older.
5 years, so it works out perfect.
They said it was going to be like her. Kate Bishop, which is Hawkeye's daughter, or the next Hawkeye. They talked about Scarlet Witches and Vision's kids, Wiccan and I forgot the other name of the other ones. Wiccan and someone else.
We also still don't know if Vision's subconscious is even still active from what Shuri did in Infinity War.
Yeah, like, we don't know, because with WandaVision, it's all her imagination. So we don't even know if that's a real Vision. Got him back. He's back. Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
Speaking of Rise of Skywalker, technical difficulties, but
it's all good. It's all good. We're glad to have you back. No, I want to send you guys an email. I got hooked up. I got hooked up with the original script of the 9th Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
So before J.J. Abrams made the Skywalker, one, Rise of Skywalker, Colin Trevorrow wrote a Star Wars movie that was supposed to be after Rian Johnson's Star Wars movie, and it was called The Duel of Fates. And it was written back in 2016.
Damn.
And I have the whole script.
Yeah,
and just reading the first page, it's infinitely better than anything that we've seen. I was just oh my gosh, this is amazing. It has a lot more Leia from what I've read so far, a lot more Leia. So like
but also Leia was still alive in 16, right?
Well, yeah. They didn't know that she was going to die, so they wrote a lot more for her. But I got to send it to you guys because I would love to get on the pod and kind of talk about it. Once we all read it. I know
if any of our viewers want it, they just have to subscribe to our Patreon to get some extra content,
Yes, you have to subscribe to our Patreon in order to get your hands on the copy yourself. However, I got it for y'all for the low.
If you want it, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. How did you manage to do that? Like,
man,
is this a conversation we have to have in a pod, or do I have to wait till after?
No. It's not like by any special way that I got it. I just have people who also love Star Wars in my life, and they got their hands on it.
It wasn't like someone at a Taco Bell event was like,
no, nothing crazy like that. They're just gracious.
I'll trade you your Taco Bell Xbox for this exclusive strip. Like,
speaking of which, go ahead and get yourself a flaming hot Doritos Loco Taco if you haven't gotten one yet. They're delicious.
I thought you guys had that already, bro.
Nah, we have the fiery ones, which is like a different blend. But this is like the flaming hot Cheetos like flavor.
Okay,
it's fire.
Bro, all the Mexican girls that used to walk the mile in high school are about to.
Bro, they're about to take it, crush it up in a Fritos bag with some chili, and
damn. They create themselves some nachos right there,
bro.
I really found out you can do the cheesy gordita crunches with the Doritos Loco Taco inside.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
bro. Taco Bell is a godsend. I love Taco Bell.
It gets wild, bro. Like when you really look at like the customizations and what you can do, you can make some very, very unique meals that you just can't really get anywhere else.
Oh, bro, if you go and you got the munchies, easy. Easy call.
It's fire.
But yeah,
we have to do a cooking show. I want to speak that into existence now. When Soundflick becomes a network,
I'm trying to do that from home, but it's tough. It's really tough to record in my kitchen when everybody is home. So maybe after the quarantine. I mean, I have an idea for setup and everything, but
bro, if we all just eventually just moving together, easy. We are headquarters. I wouldn't mind.
Kitchen, yeah. I like Narik's kitchen. I like how big Narik's kitchen is. I would love a kitchen like that.
Narik's setup is fire,
bro. We can do a little. If you're trying to come over and cook, bro, we can do a whole setup here at the kitchen.
When it's safe.
When it's safe, of course.
I'll hit you.
I don't know where you've been.
Sure.
Meaning, like for me, bro, it's not a problem.
Nah, but yeah.
Bring your hazmat suit.
I have that mask from JM Cam.
Hey,
that work?
Got a JMK with the mask.
Shout out JM Cam.
Yeah.
Hey, clutch.
Came clutch. My whole family has some. For real. I was rocking it today because I went to the bank real quick and I was like, damn, I look like an assassin or a ninja or something like that.
Yeah, bro, it has to be.
I saw when I was still at work. When I was still at work, someone walked in with a full-on gas mask. It was weird.
Sincere, you have to talk about this because you're at the bank, bro. How crazy is it seeing people with masks like they're about to rob it?
Honestly, I'm not too concerned. I know like some other coworkers or just people like in general, like in our market, like the amount of Chase branches that are in our market. Some people are like taking heed. Some people are like more cautious than others. Some people blatantly want to take leave. Some people are like, it just depends on the person. But from my like experience, I haven't had like any problems with it. In order to even come in, you need to have a mask now.
I'm gonna get the Joker mask.
Stores doing that too.
The one that had
was Joe
Knight.
Exotic.
I'm gonna just wear the one in Dark Knight and be like, all right, I'm gonna need to get to your vault. I'm gonna need.
You'd be surprised how little money that banks don't have inside their bro. Like if everybody would have come at once saying that I want this.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like I'm sure that they haven't had that like a substantial amount of money in a bank since like Westerns, like like Western times when people were robbing banks.
They walk away with a treasure chest full of bonds and gold and all the safety deposit box.
Yeah. Nowadays, you go in the vault and you probably get like 10 grand.
yeah. But
it's not worth it.
Some banks are having more conversations with customers as far as like what's going to happen for the forthcoming months, weeks, whatever the case is, than other banks. But I think everybody getting the stimulus check, bro, kind of messed up what they were trying to accomplish because now everybody's trying to come and cash your check. Everybody's out and about buying stuff that they don't need. Everybody's out eating. Like it's just giving people a reason to leave the house because they have money now.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, the check was supposed to be for bills.
Yeah.
That's like the reality of it is that the check is literally only supposed to be for bills. So if you're buying stuff outside,
I feel like the people buying stuff are the people that are still working. So like, I already have a regular check. This $1,200 is nothing for me. Like this is perfect. It's extra, So
hey, bro, leave my AirPods alone. I'm gonna need you to not.
There you go.
No, I was gonna buy these either way. It's fine. But I'm putting my stimulus check towards like the home studio. So like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, definitely, man. If y'all listening, like, and you're not struggling for your meal or you can afford your rent and you've saved, like, please invest that money. Don't go and fuck it off. You know what I mean? Like that's not.
Or just save it for another rainy day. For your backup.
If you don't have a savings account, like, please create one. It's not that hard to go to your bank and create it online.
Yeah. I mean, any of these rappers, like, if y'all don't have home studio or y'all ain't investing or have a couple videos lined up with this 1,200, then I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, gotta get your priorities right.
Elevating, pretty much.
Yeah.
For real. But before we go,
money into your LLC, bro.
Yes,
bro. Literally, you are a small business
yourself.
Invest into your small business. But before we go, I kind of wanted to tap in on.
And there he goes.
It'd be like local events. Like,
sorry,
say that again. Say that again,
bro. You gotta start that again. You wanted to tap in on what?
I think he wanted to tap in on the virtual shows that are going on. Virtual shows. There's
not
a lot
so much.
of.
Well, yeah, but kind of just like as like artists or like DJs, like us conforming to the. Do you guys think it's more pros and cons? More.
So you're saying like pros and cons of like DJing, doing sets, stuff like that.
Yeah, like if like your guys' experience, like if you find it more like for example, I'm finding everything being way more fruitful right now because I'm spending all my time writing, spending all my time just connecting with people and getting features and doing features for people.
The thing about going live and streams, I think it's good because you get to connect with your audience in a way that you haven't before. And like the tools have always been there, but in these times, I feel like it's a lot more important because this is the only way you could connect with your audience, depending on what you're working on or the the methods you're trying to connect with them. You know, some people just go live and just sit there and talk, or some people play music, like you said. Some people do sets. Some people are like juggling. I don't know. Like there's so
He
many
said
different
juggling.
things you can do. There's so many different things that you can do. You know, like there's a lot of pros to it. I don't really see a lot of cons from it. Because I feel like right now, although it is something everybody's doing, it's not going to be something people are going to be doing once we go back to normal. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people still trying to connect with their audience this way now that they've tapped into it, but there's going to be a lot of people just going back to normal, you know. So I don't really see any cons from it.
I agree with you on that. I think I don't see any cons in personal lives. You know, I think if you're an artist or if you have something to say and you want to connect with your audience, going live at this time is great because they'll most likely tune in. You know, you're going to get some sort of engagement. You're going to do those. I did end up seeing like a few live shows, like virtual live shows, and I'm still not really sold on how that goes. You know, I've
I think
seen
it depends on the
audio is
experience.
clear, audio drops, the live goes out, and then you got to get everybody back in there, and it's just it sucks because I mean, doing a live show is really, you know, part of the reward that an artist receives. You know what I mean? The energy that you get from people, and like the absence of that energy when you do a live show,
Very
you know,
true.
through live is something that I haven't been able to like really crack yet, you know, just looking at it and feeling like, unless you're a superstar, you know, like the beat battles that have been going on with
Yeah,
Timbaland and
exactly.
Tory Lanez.
you know, or like Tory Lanez, it's like it's great to be in those lives because everybody is like talking shit and everybody's like saying something funny and like you can kind of be involved and you feel like it, you know, that's cool. But if you're really a celebrity that you're benefiting off of that. But if you're an up and coming artist, I don't know. It's just I feel like we don't have all the tools yet to bring out the most for people who are just coming up trying to give somebody something that they haven't seen before. You know, it's still going to take, it seems like it still takes a production team to be involved. And if you don't have, and if people aren't being around people right now, it's still not going to be as great. So I feel like what will happen, like how you were saying, Mike, that even though the lives are going to continue to go on once we're outside again, they won't be as frequent. But what will happen is there like live events, like when you plan something out to do on your live, I think a lot more people will be paying attention to.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more people, like if I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing an album release on my live, like I think that they're going to expect me to spruce it up as much as possible, make sure that the audio's good, have a good visual, maybe have some guests that pop in and out of the live. But I think people will tune in if I say this is the way that I want to do it instead of doing like, you know, a release party or something like that.
Yeah. I think once the quarantine is over and people can meet up, and if they're still doing lives and they still want to, they'll be better. Like you said, like if you have a team helping you with the live up, it's going to be better. Right now, everybody's still tinkering with it, trying to figure out what's the right method, what's the right platform. You know, everybody's just kind of exploring. But once everybody can actually meet up again, it's everybody will have it figured out. You know, like I know there's been a few times I've been talking to JMK and like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this platform? What do you think about this program? You know, so it's just about exploring. You know, right now it's still an experimentation. I think part that we're going through with these lives, but the more people use it, the more people brainstorm on it, and the bigger team that you have, I think it can be a better tool for artists, even up and coming. So
and even for like in production studios and things like that, I think people will dress things up to go live. You know, they'll set the cameras up to go live and different things like that. So I'm excited for that. Up until like in the meantime, though, like how you were saying, Sincere, just trying to be as active as possible in an artist capacity, making songs every day if possible, every other day if possible, sending out emails, crafting emails. For artists who register their music, register your music right now. You know what I mean? Get your BMI up, get your ASCAP straightened out, so that when things go back to normal, you're caught up on everything and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, like you don't have to invest in yourself with just money. You can invest in yourself with the time that you have.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot more ways you can invest in yourself. So
especially when it comes to networking right now, I feel like networking right now it's reaching a peak because everybody's home. You know what I mean? So you're able to catch people that you wouldn't be able to catch via DM, via Twitter,
I see a lot of
A&Rs,
producers and DJs that normally would never go on live, going live and asking people to send them music so they can play it and give them feedback, and that's something you would never see before the quarantine because they were always busy. They're always
or
on
you'd
a
have
plane.
to pay for.
Or you'd have to pay for it. Now it's like that's if you send your record to like somebody like right now I'm watching some guy, his name is Kill Offer. He produced and mixed My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So he's been getting different DJs and A&Rs each week. I think last week he had DJ Semtex, and he just has people send the music to his iMessage and he'll just play it and then they'll discuss it. They'll be like, "Hi, what'd you think about that? The sound, blah, blah, blah," and kind of just give feedback, like I think that's a really cool thing, especially with somebody as big as that, like giving you feedback. And if you're not taking notes or, taking the feedback for what it is, then, you're not really getting anywhere. But I just think it's really cool seeing stuff like that.
A lot of opportunity. This is going to out of this, there's going to be a lot more just players on the board. People are going to be saying months and months from now, well, during quarantine, I sent this out and it happened and now I'm here, So take risks. If you guys are listening to this, take risks. If you're an artist, now's the time. Now the whole world is on pause. So make your mistakes, take your risks, do all of that stuff, figure it all out now, so that when we get back to running as a society, you don't have to feel like you're behind. You don't have to feel like, you got to catch up or you got to figure anything out. You're going to already have it ready to go.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well,
what do you think, fellas? Do you guys like this format?
I like my ring light, and I think it's like, I don't know. I think this whole
there's a few things I had to tweak, to help out on my. Cool for the time being. It's cool for the time being. Like I said, I really appreciate Jordan helping us out with this and being a step forward and trying to figure out how to keep all these podcasts going, the ones that want to keep going at least without having to compromise our health. So really appreciate that, all the hard work. And
the free.
It's definitely clutch to be able to have you guys all be down and to have Productive Culture power us and support us in what we're doing. So if you guys are an artist out there and maybe before this you didn't want to start a podcast, maybe you were fine just listening to everything, but once quarantine hit, you kind of found yourself wanting to speak more and talk more, definitely hit up Productive Culture to discuss ways that you guys can bring a podcast to life or bring some content to life. You won't regret it, and we are on the cusp of innovation. They pride themselves on trying to be a step ahead and trying to figure out what is the best way that people are using things now and using the tools that we have now. So you're going to be in good hands, and that's really dope. And I'm just happy that the pod is back.
Yeah.
Soundflick boys. Hey.
We'll probably do, as many episodes as we need to until we could meet up or until it's safe for us to meet up again. But, if you are tuning in and, now you can watch us on video. For those listening, if you want to go view the video and see how we look with our cool background, you can go on YouTube.
I want to get a green screen. Green screen.
Custom backgrounds all next episode.
Yeah, I'll have a cool one for the next one.
Okay, I gotta. Yeah,
No
okay,
worries.
I might be able to put that together.
I have one in mind. So
Canva.
Yo, Canva's clutch.
Yeah, no, there's some cool ones out there. So, but
sure,
other than that, it's cool tapping in with you guys and talking again.
Yes.
But yeah,
wait,
other than that,
before we forget, the outro song of today, Orcamania 30,000 just dropped. Hey. Produced by Jam Cam.
Hey.
And DeFalco. Shout out
and
to Falco.
And DeFalco.
Yeah, and DeFalco. There you go.
But Noah James, which we're gonna play the song right after this. But Noah James is doing a competition up until 420. Shout out to Noah. Where someone submits their 16 via Instagram. The remix is featuring Cam Archer and Tony Coda. So the winner of this competition goes on the remix with those guys. So you have a couple more days if it's still happening by the time we release this. But if not, I just want to say Tino Wells went off.
Fire.
That's who I'm hoping wins.
Hey,
but
Psycho Sloth.
Psycho Sloth is fire, bro.
Just his attitude, his flow, his delivery.
Bro, he be fucking styling on everybody, bro. His fits be well put together, dog.
Honestly, just have the remix be like 10 minutes. I'll listen to it. Just put everybody on there.
I expect everyone to perform their remixes.
Diesel
has one too.
Yes.
I expect everyone to perform their remixes like in a long ass mixtape set.
Yes.
You know, when all of this is over. I need everyone just stand in a line and then just pass the mic, you know, as they go through. Just get it all done.
Yeah. No, but yeah, here's
I wanted
the
to
song.
hop in, but I have no business doing any wrestling bars. So I'll just observe and be a fan.
Hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, again.
Sign us off, Mike.
Nice tapping in. Later.
This is WrestleMania 30,000, bitch. Undertaker to the haters, no time for the fakers. Move on, get your paper. I'm Kane with the fire. I'm Y2J, I'm here to inspire. I'm badass Billy Gunn, my road dog is vicious, we get it done. I'm Jeff and Matt, my grind extreme, I'm a 5-star match. I'm Edge and Christian, we put in that work while they wait and wish. I'm Rob and Bam, I don't do what I can, nigga, I do what I need to. I'm the rock with a plan, and the plan is to rock with my people. I feel like Triple H rage won't go away, I'm far from peaceful. I'm Eddie Guerrero, all gas, no brakes on Monday Nitro. I'm Sting in a Woo Pack, getting that big bag, shining my titles. Big show, big picture, don't hold good liquor. Like nigga, I'm free, I'm Booker T when they call Hogan a nigga. Like bitch, this wrestling. Like bitch, this wrestling. Like bitch, this wrestling. Like bitch, this wrestling. I say bitch, this wrestling, but this rap shit is real. See, this rap shit is real. See, this rap shit is real. I say fuck how you feel. I say fuck how you feel. I say fuck how you feel. I say bitch, you wrestling. Yeah, that's him. I say fuck how you feel. I say bitch, you